Okay, guys, I had talked about the glue up and how that didn't work. So I decided to do a tie-up. And actually that worked out pretty good. It came out really nice. Tie-up is all tied up. And that's just to kind of hold everything in place as I'm going to go through and do my lacing. So I've got everything all ready. Now I was just going to do a test fit to see how it works. And to be honest, it works pretty nice. I liked it. There's the actual whole thing. That means the only thing left is to do lacing and stuff like that. I liked how it came out. One of the things I did notice that I was going to show in this video is that because of my dyeing process and all the work on the leather and stuff like that, when you do cutting and inlays like that, you do what's called casing the leather. You literally soak the leather, and then it's easier to cut and mold and different things like that. Well, that also dries it out too. So I was going to show you how I do some conditioning of my leather. This is a great time to do it. I need to do it. I want to get it done before I put the lacing on anyways, to make the leather a little bit better to work with. I hand wash all my stuff, so I try to save as little power as possible. And one of the things I like to use is carnauba oil, carnauba cream. It's great. It comes in big bottles. And what I do is I actually just pour it into these little bottles. It makes it so it's a lot easier to manage than a big bottle. So since I've got to, before I can even lace this, I've got to condition that oil a little bit. I'm just going to start doing that. I need to condition it. And I've never done this area. This is the first time doing a paint on leather. And we'll see how it goes. It's a Resin, then acrylic paint, then a Resin on top of it to protect that paint. But I'm kind of curious what it's going to be like after I do some conditioning on it. That's the biggest thing. But this definitely needs to be conditioned. The leather's getting tough, and it needs some conditioning and some loving. So we'll just go at it and see how it turns out. Now I'm going to get this pretty heavy actually on there. It needs to really soak. So in fact, it's doing a great job of soaking it up. It's so dry. All of this work that's been being done on it, it needs this. Came out great. The paint actually held because of the Resin, which is really, really nice. So I like it. I really like this carnauba cream too because it does a good job. And it really gets in where it needs to. It does some protection and all that. But like I said, this, you can tell just looking at it, that leather was so dry and it was starting to get brittle, and that was scaring me. I don't want it to crack either. So I'm just going to do this, and this is the final part of the lace up basically. Now let's get that edge, because that edge, this edge piece, the welt inside there is really dry too. And that's kind of got me worried a little bit too. So I want to get that going. Get some protection on that. It soaks it in so fast because the leather is so dry. I don't know how this works on fur. I don't want to get the fur too wet, but I still got to get that welt done. So it's it's actually working pretty damn good. It's really soaking in spots. It's taken off a little bit of the dye. I knew it was going to do that. It's just the regular Phoebeans dye. It's not like a professional dye or anything like that. I'm just learning dyeing, so I'm not spending the extra on that really high quality leather or dye. As far as I know, from it kind of sounds like it might just be the same thing, and I have just a lot of dye on this. That's probably it. And I haven't put a sealant on this either to really seal everything in. So I'm just worried about getting that leather some pliability here and get some conditioning worked into it. It's sucking in that conditioning really good. So like I said, that the dye is an alcohol based dye. So we all know what alcohol does to our skin. And I need to get some moisture, just make it so it's going to be easier for the needles to go through. And I'll go through that process too in a later video. I just wanted to show this part in this aspect, because this is all part of taking care of your leather. So I think that's going to work really nice. That all really got in that. I mean, it's all soaked in already. It's completely soaked in. Let's show you how dry it was. It just drank it like it was water. So that's what it's like. Otherwise, the sheath scabbard works pretty dang good. The reinforcement does exactly like it's supposed to. And if I pull the sword out just a little bit, I mean, and then this gives a nice thick area and changes that around. It's gonna be good. I like it so far. But there's it, and it hits and it holds good. The stiffening and everything in that area is doing exactly what I had planned, which is awesome. Just what I worked on the tip, the weak of the sword and the tip. Everything's exactly where I want it to be. It all looks good. So I'm going to leave you with that. I might throw some more moisturizer on this, just because this leather it really sucked that in. I knew it was dry. I shouldn't say I'm shocked. I should have known better. So I'm going to probably add a little bit more to the conditioning of the leather, get a little bit more conditioned, and then I'm going to start right into lacing it. And that's going to be a whole different video on the lacing. I don't know how much I'm going to get into it, since I'm really new at this kind of lacing. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Here's a good look at what the sheath looks pretty much right now as it is. So letting you guys go. Have a great time. Thanks guys for watching these videos. I make them for me down the road so I can learn for myself. But if people are learning too and they're watching these videos, I mean, that's awesome too. So thanks. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. That helps out a lot. I mean, it's amazing. And have a good one. Okay, guys, I'm getting set up to do the lacing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the lacing, and I'm going to work my way down on one side. So I'm going to start with the very top hole, go to the next hole, and then I'm going to cut these as I go. That way it keeps it all together and held nice while I try working on it, instead of having all that leather flopping around. Since I'm new at this, a while back I had bought from Tandy the PDF for the lacing. It doesn't say the guy's name, but he put out 2 books on lacing, and they're really good. They're very old, but Al Stolman, he's the one who did them. And I got these PDFs to help me learn how to lace. And so I got this. This is my information book too. It also tells me, so I'm dealing with ounces, irons, inches, and millimeters. That way I know, okay, someone says it's going to be 1/8 inch, which is an 8 ounce or 6 irons, or helps me. And then I also know the cuts of the different leather. So this is where I'm going to be working. I don't know how well you can see that because I don't have my glasses on. I got a lot of light that floods in, as you can see, to light up the video. Actually, that looks pretty nice. You can see everything pretty good. But they're older. Here, let me take off glasses so I don't have reflection coming back at all the light I gotta have. So that gives you an idea of the book, and it's really good. It's a PDF that you get to download online. So I've got everything I need right here. Medicine bottles are great. Old medicine bottles for my stitches, for my needles. These are pretty cool. You got your lace, and then these just pop open. Yeah, sure. Now that the camera's running, it doesn't want to work for me here. There we go. And they just open up, and you put your lace in there, and then you start. I have an owl. Actually, this adjusts between my saddle stitch needle and for doing these. This helps me open it up so I can get the needle through. I have a second owl, pliers and scissors, and then my needles, and then my lacing. This is what I'm going to use for my lacing. And to do lacing in the needles, I'll show you that real quick. You get it so it forms a point. And once it forms that point, so that it forms a nice little point there. And then what you do is you just skive down the leather a little bit so it's not as thick. A little bit more. And then see if I can show it on camera. When you open those 2 up, there's little prongs in there. So you just open them up. And you let those prongs catch onto the leather. I don't know if you can see the prongs on there. And then to set the prongs, just go like that. It pushes it into the leather. And then you can start your needlework. Just showing going through the, there we go. And then that'll pull your lace through. Now obviously I'm going to start up here, and I'm actually going to measure this out because I'm doing what's called the triple loop lace, which I think is going to be really nice. it's going to help with the thickness here. And then what they say is about 9 times the length, and for some reason I need a lot more than that. So I'm going to go through and I'll measure out my lace, and I'll have that all figured out. I'm figuring 12 times the length is what I'm going to figure and go with. I got another spool just to get all this down, because that's going to be some thickness. And I'm going to really focus on that, so I'm not going to do that on video. If I do, I'll have it worked down to where I get to here, so you guys kind of get an idea of what it looks like up here. And I might show some on camera. Otherwise, I'll just show a little bit on camera, or just show how it's going. And then once I get this finished, we'll definitely go into the final product and thoughts. I have a lot that I've learned, a lot, and it's really cool. I'm happy with my build so far. I'm excited. The leather's all conditioned. I think I'm all perfect for doing my lacing now. So for this part of the video, I'm going to sign off, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching these.